Hey guys, we are back again. This is our troubleshooting video. Once again, I'm going to talk about troubleshooting hearing aids and checking the Baha and give you a few cleaning tips at home as well. So I'd say the number one thing you're going to be dealing with when it comes to a hearing aid not working is a dead battery. So a few things to check first. Once you've inserted the battery, if you are using your listening tube or you're using your straw and you hear no sound, another quick and dirty way is to kind of cup your hand over the hearing aid, and you should hear some squealing or feedback. So in this case, I'm hearing nothing. We'll check the battery first. You should have a battery checker as well in your kit. And to use the battery checker, you're going to place the battery with the flat side or the side with the plus facing up, and then you'll push it towards the top, towards that plate. And in this case, I'm getting nothing. There's no reading at all on there, so this is a dead battery. When you take a battery fresh from a pack, and again, this is for caregivers who may not be as familiar with this, there's going to be a sticker on top. Once you pull the sticker off that battery, it activates the battery. So they're sitting dormant until that time. When you pull the sticker, it's good to let it sit for about 1 to 2 minutes so that it reaches full charge.
And this is true for cochlear implant batteries as well if you're using disposables. Same thing applies with the sticker.
So I'm going to show you what a battery looks like that is fully charged. When you press it up, you should see the black marker go all the way to the top. And that just indicates that it's a good charge on the battery. Another quick and dirty method is the drop test. So these are zinc air oxide batteries. So when a battery is still at full charge, it is heavier. So when you drop the two batteries, the battery that bounces is the dead or the discharged battery. The battery that just falls flat usually has good charge on it. So this is our good battery. We're going to place it in, go ahead and close it, and in this case you might have to wait a second or two. Once again, I'm not hearing anything, but I know I have a good battery. So my next thing to check is the sound in some way not getting through the tubing. So you can pull, you just kind of pinch, twist and pull, take the ear mold off, and you may be able to hear that. I'm getting a nice squeal, so I know the hearing aid is working, but there's some problem here with the ear mold. Also in your kit, you may have a blower, and when you're using the blower, you just place it in the top of the tubing and you will squeeze, and it's going to push out any debris through the ear mold. And I have stopped this one up with some Play-Doh just to show you a few cleaning methods. This is a common cleaning tool that should be in your kit. It has a brush on one end and a wire loop on the other. So you can just gently press the loop in and pull out, and you'll clean that off with a tissue and do it again till all the wax is free and clear from the tubing. If you don't have one of these at home, a simple bobby pin works as well. You might have to use some pliers to make the end a little bit more narrow, but again, you can kind of reach in there, sweep it around, and pull out the any debris. So I found another method, again, if you don't have one of these blowers at home, because these are easy to lose. I thought a lot of us with young kids at home likely have these medicine syringes. You can fill it with water, place it at the top of the tubing, and squeeze, and you'll see a lot of that stuff come right out. Now, if you're going to be using water to clean the ear mold, that is safe to do. You can use soap and water, but do it in the evening when you've taken the hearing aid off for the night, because you want it to fully dry before you place it back on the hearing aid. So in this case, I won't put it right back on the hearing aid, but we should have a good sound coming through at this time. For the batteries, most of our kids are wearing the Phonak Sky products, or they're wearing the Oticon products. For the Sky products, when the battery is getting low, you're going to notice a change in the blinking pattern. So when the hearing aid is on and working, the button actually serves as an indicator light. So it should have a steady single blink throughout the day so that you know it's on and working. I don't guess this one's activated, but when the blink becomes rapid, if you see 3 rapid blinks and then a pause, 3 rapid blinks and a pause, then you know the battery's getting low. Your children also should be hearing an alert sound through the hearing aid, so they may also tell you if they're hearing a beep in their hearing aid, it's time to change the battery. So let's also consider, if you will, the tubing may have a crack in it, or in this case, this tubing is very hard and brittle. Tubing should be pretty pliable to where you can squeeze it, but if it's starting to feel like hard plastic, then it needs to be changed. I'm happy to send you these in the mail, or if in an emergency we can meet you here to do this as well, but it's pretty simple, so if you feel comfortable doing it at home, we can send some of these to you in the mail. So again, you'll pull the ear mold from the hearing aid. You're going to pull the tubing out of the ear mold, and with the new tubing, you're going to notice one end has a beveled edge to where it's been cut. You then are going to put it through the outside of the ear mold. The beveled edge goes in first, and you just work it in, push it, push it, push it, and you start to notice it's going to come through. You want the tubing to be facing upward, and we're going to keep pulling. This is not easy in gloves. Not easy. So in this case, I could not pull it through with my gloves, so you can use some pliers, something to give you a better grip on it. And you're just going to pull and pull and pull. And before I pull it too far, I want to show you there's an extra little nubbin on the tube. This is called the tube lock, and you want that to actually go into the ear mold. That's what helps keep it in place and keeps the child from pulling it out. So I'm going to pull and pull until that lock snaps in place. And I want this to be vertical, so I might give it one extra pull just so it's nice and vertical, and the curve goes comfortably against the ear mold right there. So then, just using any household scissors, you can trim the tubing right at the end of the canal portion. And when you are going to trim the length of it, I usually will go ahead and just place the hearing aid on the ear, and then you can insert the ear mold. In this case, this one's not fitted for this ear, but I try to measure the length of where it's going to connect to the ear hook, and you just pinch it with your fingernails, and then you give it a little snip. So then, again, you just have to work it on to the hearing aid. And that can be a little tricky for a brand new tube. It doesn't always want to go on perfectly. But you just want it to be, you want it to meet up to the raised part of the ear hook. So in that case, you should have a nicely fitted tube. And if you notice there's any tugging, it might be that it's too short. If you notice the hearing aid is just standing up tall on the ear, it might be too long, and you can take it off and give it an extra trim. So that is retubing an ear mold. Trying to think any other troubleshooting things. Also on the end of this tool is a small wire brush. This is good for cleaning the microphones. So on the Baha device, there's really not a lot of care and maintenance required. Occasionally you can use this brush to clean the microphones, which are located on the bottom of the Baha. Same goes for the hearing aids. These are the microphones of the hearing aids. You just give them a little brush if any dirt and debris have entered in. And for the Oticon hearing aids, the microphones are on the side of the hearing aid and on the back. So that's it, I believe.
I'm pausing.
Yeah.